This is the front cover of Gazzetta in Italy. It says Strappo Inter, which means a strained Inter, and it's all about a bit of a spat, it would seem, between Hakan Calhanoglu and Lautaro Martinez. It's Hakan Calhanoglu's future, which there's a lot of rumours that he could be going to Galatasaray. Lautaro Martinez is annoyed about this. And this is what he had to say after their Club World Cup exit. He said, anyone who doesn't want to stay here should leave. I'm not going to name names. We're here to give our all, but I saw many things I did not like. I'm captain, I'm leader of the group, so I have to speak up. The message is clear. Those who want to stay and continue challenging for important trophies can do so. Otherwise, goodbye. Now, many saw that as a pointed quote at Calhanoglu, who he said in response. What surprised me even more were the words that came after, words that hit hard, words that divide, not unite. I believe that in football, as in life, true strength lies in showing respect, especially when emotions are running high. I've learned that leadership means standing by your team, not pointing fingers when it's easiest. But history always remembers those who stood tall, not those who shouted the loudest.
Good job Dan's not in today. And he didn't like the Calhanoglu discussions because he butchers the pronunciation.
You could just call him Hakan. But anyway, Jules, let's talk a little bit more about this whole situation and what's really the story behind it.
I mean, I guess the story behind it, but it's really rare to start with that a captain, even if Lautaro Martinez didn't name Hakan Calhanoglu in this post-match interview the other day after that defeat in the Club World Cup, that I think took us all a bit by surprise too, the defeat and then the comments, is that Beppe Marotta, who is the president of Inter Milan now, after that came out and said, yeah, he was talking about Calhanoglu, so this is Calhanoglu that we're all talking about here. Which again, to start with, is your captain slagging off one of his teammates, and even then we had a guessing game. Who could that be? Was it Thuram? Was it Calhanoglu? Was it X or Y? Then your own president comes out and says, yeah, this is Calhanoglu that we are all talking about. Can you just imagine the atmosphere within the club, within that dressing room? So that's the first thing. The second thing, Lautaro Martinez has been a captain, I think he's a good captain, has been a captain for a long time, never done that. I think he probably felt the need of saying it because there's clearly a problem there. We haven't seen Hakan Calhanoglu since the Champions League final. What's the situation? Why is the problem? Does he really not want to play for Inter anymore and he's trying to force a move? Did the rest of the squad feel almost let down by the attitude of Calhanoglu, by almost him snubbing his own team by saying, I don't want to play with you, I don't want to be with you here. So there's still a lot of things that we don't know. That's where I would like to know a bit more about how those players felt about what Calhanoglu did or didn't do, by the way. And more than just an Instagram statement from Calhanoglu himself, I would have liked to listen to him and what he had to say about his own position. Do you want to stay then? Do you want to stay or do you want to go? Have you been trying to leave the club for the last few weeks? Is that why we haven't seen you play in this Club World Cup?
Yeah. What's it got to do? I'm intrigued here. This is very childish. What the hell's it got to do with Lautaro Martinez, whether you're club captain or not, if another player wants to go somewhere else? We've all had it. We've all been in dressing rooms where you've got a player as a colleague, as a mate, whatever, you're in the dressing room with him 6 days a week and he's had enough. He wants to go somewhere else. He wants to go back to Turkey. He wants to go and try something different. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. What if Lautaro Martinez want to go back to Argentina? Is that okay? Is that okay for him to do it, but not for anybody else to do it? So, you know, it's all very well harnessing the team spirit, and I understand that. But guess what? When you have a big squad of players, and Steve had it at Liverpool, and I had it at Chelsea and Celtic and all these, players come and go. Some people have had enough and they want to leave. Some people are forced out. That's normal. It's just a normal scenario. The guy's been in Italy for a while. He's been a very, very good player.
But do you think he thinks, right, we've been in the Club World Cup, this situation where your name's getting put out there by, there's posts from his hairdresser, his dad, saying, is he going to Galatasaray? They're trying to fight for something. He's not there to help the team.
They're fighting for a tin
They're fighting
cup.
for some pride.
They're fighting for the Club World Cup is crap.
But in their eyes, they're going for it. Lautaro Martinez is a player that
they're not going for it. They just lost the Champions League.
When he's injured, he'll give his all.
They just lost the Champions League final 5-0. Do you think they give a stuff about the Club World Cup?
They're trying to, like, save some pride.
Here's the thing. Why? If he feels that way, all he's got to do is knock on Mr. Calhanoglu's door when they get home and say, right, what's the deal here? We're trying to do this. We've already lost the manager. we want to keep everybody here. If you don't want to be here, then that's fine. But, you know, why do you have to make a statement and give it, oh, I have to do this because I'm the captain? You know, we're trying to build something here. As if he's like patting his cell on the back. What kind of captain goes out in public and slags off one of the most important players in the team? If you've got a problem with anybody, you address it with them. You don't go shouting out in the press.
Good grief.
That just tells you he's not a good captain.
We had
off the bat.
We had a player at Celtic that went missing. Mark Viduka. We signed him from. We signed big Viduks from Croatia Zagreb, right? A heck of a player, by the way. Big, strong, technically good front man. Perfect. Him and Larsson up front. We're going to have a field day. He comes in. Something happened between him and Fergus McCann, and the owner at the time. I don't know what the hell it was. And he disappeared. And they had to go to Croatia and find him. And what do you think? What do you think we did? Sat in the corner with the tissues and cried about it. You just got on with it. And then he came back. He sorted out his differences. He came back in. The lads had a joke about it, and you get on with it. Players come and go. Guess what? Lautaro Martinez will leave Inter at some point. And I'm sure when that happens, that will be okay. I'm not suggesting Calhanoglu's attitude over the summer has been excellent, or has been this, or has been that. But at the end of the day, if his desire is to go back to Turkey or wherever it is and take his family, that's his choice. That is his choice to do that. And it's not the job of a captain of any club to decide which player stays and which player goes. That's the choice of Hakan Calhanoglu, nobody else.
Do you think the tensions are as high as they are, Jules, because of how the season ended for Inter with nothing?
Yeah, I think that didn't help. Craig mentioned the Champions League final. You can even go back before that to losing the Serie A title on the last day, to lose the semi-final of the Coppa d'Italia, and even before that to lose the Super Cup final too, you know, the Italian Super Cup. So yeah, I don't think that helped. I don't think it helps that. I think Marcus Thuram liked the post of Hakan Calhanoglu, for example. I think there might be some tensions towards Lautaro Martinez himself. Maybe if Lautaro Martinez said that, it's because he felt that he's been in that position, and Craig is right. Players go and come, but maybe this time he felt like the attitude from Calhanoglu was a bit too disrespectful. I don't know. That's the thing. We don't maybe have enough of it. But what we know is that right now, under Christian Chivu, this is, as we saw in the Club World Cup, this has been a disaster on the pitch. Off the pitch is a disaster. They're trying to sign younger players to make this squad younger. It was one of the oldest squads in Europe, to make it younger. But even the quality of the players that they're signing, some have potential, but overall, it's not great either. So you have to worry for Inter Milan going into the new season.
By the way, did Lautaro, I must have missed this, it's not been on the show, did Lautaro Martinez put a post out about Simone Inzaghi?
Don't know.
Jumping ship? Because he went to somewhere where it's hugely important and he's going to further his coaching career, Saudi Arabia. Or did he leave Inter Milan? He leave them, but he's been a great manager there. Don't get me wrong. So he has been a manager that the players all trusted, but he left. He didn't go to Barcelona or Liverpool or Juventus or PSG. He went to Saudi Arabia. What did he go there for? The money. We didn't see him post about that.
But what's the link though anyway? Because that was the end of their season in their eyes. That
What do you mean? What's the link?
Like why would he have posted? What's the connection here?
Well,
like Calhanoglu's getting his family and people he knows are putting out posts that he might be going to Galatasaray.
Hold on. What do you mean?
Inzaghi wasn't doing that.
Hold on. You've lost me here. What do you mean? What's the link?
No, but you've lost me. Like, why does he have to?
By the way, because
me
nobody in Lautaro's family have ever said anything about anything, right?
No, of course.
However
Yeah.
lost you. One player wants to leave. One player wants to leave. That's clear, and that's his choice. And one manager left to just pick up money. Not going to further his coaching career in Saudi Arabia. He's filling his bank account. He left.
But he'd left.
But what's the difference?
Well, the difference.
I don't care about the Club World Cup.
Talking about leaving.
It doesn't matter if he left 4 weeks ago and Calhanoglu leaves in the middle of August. It makes no difference. What's the difference between your manager leaving to somewhere where nobody gives a toss about and filling his bank account, and a player wanting to go back to his own country? What's the difference?
Because Inzaghi wasn't talking about leaving during the time in a competition that.
What competition?
They're playing in the Club World Cup.
Oh my God! What's wrong with you? It's a piece of crap. Nobody cares.
Situations don't match.
It does match. It does match.
They don't.
What are you talking about?
They don't.
They don't. They don't match.
What do you mean they don't match?
Inzaghi left at the end of the season.
It doesn't matter.
After a Champions
It don't
League
matter.
title. Right? No, it doesn't.
What don't you get?
But he probably did put a post out to say thanks everything.
Well, it's okay for Simeone and Inzaghi to go. Thanks very much. But a player wants to go. I don't understand. What don't you understand about this?
I understand
They've
why
lost a
Lautaro
manager.
might be annoyed.
So they've lost one of the best managers in Europe, which he was, and he left. That
he
was
wasn't
fine.
talking about it during
Doesn't
the
matter.
season.
It doesn't matter. The Club World
It's
Cup.
not the same situation.
It is the same situation. The Club World Cup matters not a jot, right?
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares, right? Whatever you say, you can sit here.
He cares. Lautaro Martinez cares about this competition. He said what he did.
Well, he's from South America, and the South American cares. The Europeans don't really care. The problem is here, and I don't see what you don't get here. The manager left, and they could say, well, he's left us in the lurch. But nothing was said. Now one of your top players wants to leave, and it's a problem. I don't understand what... It's apples and apples here.
But the manager's already gone now.
What was the difference?
What can he say anyway if he's gone?
Well, we can say thanks for leaving us in the lurch.
Mate,
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
There'll be more chat on Extra Time. These three guys will be joining us and answering your questions. Make sure to check that out on the latest edition of YouTube.